Attorney Jonathan Elson, reminding you that if you've been injured in an auto accident, it's important to have somebody on your side. When you need a lawyer,
then you need Nelson.
The Nye County Sheriff's Office has arrested Oksana Higgins and Vasily Platonov from East Alpha Kennels for felony animal abuse and neglect following an investigation that occurred on Monday night. As part of that investigation, a warrant was obtained for a property in Amargosa of approximately 300 dogs, which have been seized. The Nye County Sheriff's Office and animal control officers remain on scene. They were there Monday night and throughout Tuesday. This investigation includes neglect and abuse charges of all 300 dogs. The investigation will continue for the next several days, and it is anticipated that additional charges will be added. The Nye County Sheriff's Office says because of the large-scale animal cruelty situation which is occurring in Amargosa and on the south side of Pahrump concerning Caucasian shepherds from East Alpha Kennels, they are seeking contact from bona fide rescues, either 501c3s or municipal shelters that could assist with the housing of some of these dogs. The dogs are under court order at this time and are not adoptable until the resolution of the court process. If you're interested in assisting, you can email the sheriff at co.nye.nb.us and identify your shelter and the number of dogs that you can assist with. You can also give the Nye County Sheriff's Office a phone call at 775-751-7000.
So we responded out here yesterday after a report of an injured animal was taken to a vet. We responded and did an inspection of the property and located approximately 300 animals in various stages of malnutrition and just an unkept, neglectful situation. We obtained a search warrant last night to seize this property and the dogs that are here. We then arrested both the owner and the caretaker. They were taken to jail, and we are now here just starting to process the scene with veterinarians and trying to assess the medical condition of all the dogs. He does breed them. I don't believe he's a licensed breeder, but he does definitely breeds, and we have a lot of puppies.
Have you had a chance to go to the property in Pahrump as well?
We did go to the property in Pahrump, and we arrested the owner there at his property in Pahrump. We have not done a warrant there for the puppies yet. That will be the next step after we're done here.
So there are more dogs at another property?
There are more dogs there as well, yes.
How many?
We're not sure exactly. We didn't actually search that property.
What's the condition of these dogs?
Just preliminarily, they're in various stages of malnutrition. They have not been fed well at all. There's numerous dogs with injuries and medical conditions that need treatment, and that's what we're here figuring out. We really don't have much more at this point.
Were they left alone, or?
No, there was a caretaker here with them.
So there was a caretaker here yesterday when you were here?
Correct. We arrested her here.
Can you tell us a little bit about what we're looking at charges, not just that one animal? Have you looked into some of the previous allegations of abuse and how many charges that we might be looking at here, or do you need for the veterinarian to make a full assessment at this point?
So that's a triple question. The first answer is yesterday's arrest was based solely on the animal that was injured and left here to suffer for several days before taking to the vet. That charge and their arrest yesterday was solely based on that. These individuals have other prior criminal charges that have been filed with the district attorney's office related to prior cases. And in relation to what charges will be filed, there will be additional charges filed based on the cruelty and the condition of these animals, but the determination of that will not be known until the vet is done with an assessment of all of the dogs here.
This has been going on for a few years. These are the real first significant criminal charges that we're seeing in this case. I know a lot of residents here have been calling for this to be shut down. Do you think ultimately this will stop East Alpha Kennels?
I think that you have to realize these are two different issues being addressed. One is an ongoing licensing, permitting issue and violation of the ordinance relating to the number of dogs, and this is a criminal investigation relating to the condition and the care of the animals. So I couldn't speculate that one would affect the other. Obviously, we're going to have the dogs until the court deems otherwise, and so while we have them, this will obviously stop the other issue, but no, I don't think this has anything to do with the ordinance case that's currently pending in district court.
You said 3?
They're all dogs. There's a variety of breeds. Caucasian Shepherd is the primary breed that's here, but there's a whole variety of other breeds as well, and they're all dogs.
Are you getting help from animal rescues at this point? I know they're kind of overwhelmed.
We've reached out and gotten a pretty good response from nonprofit and municipal rescues across the country. As of right now, we're so primitive in the early stage of this that we really don't have any plan in that regard. We are working with Henderson Animal Control, has been gracious enough to help us out with a vet and some of their staff to help with this cumbersome process of inventorying everything that's here. There are a lot of dogs in bad conditions. As terms of what that looks like medically, I wouldn't know. That's why we have the vets here to try to give us a medical assessment of them.
These dogs are typically about 150 to 175 pounds. It's going to be a lot to feed these dogs. Is there any donations that the Nye County Animal Shelter can take?
Certainly our animal shelter will take all donations. They always are open for donations, and when we're taking on a load such as this, certainly any donations that could come in would help them in that effort to feed these animals. The kennels are dirt-based floors, so it's just kennels with a roof, and they're just lining the property. They're pretty unkept, and most concerning is that there's a lot of dogs, and they're obviously not friendly, and so there's injuries of all sorts that we have to address, and it's just kind of chaos.
What are you looking at for this dog yesterday? They were claiming that it was done by a wild animal. The vet themselves has said no, that's in fact not their determination, that this was actually done by a wild animal, the injury, and that they were left for that many days without any treatment.
I have no idea what caused the injury. What we know is the animal was injured and was left to suffer for several days, and that is in essence the neglect. It doesn't really matter what the mechanism was to cause the injury. When you're an animal owner, you need to take care of that animal. You can't just let it sit and suffer. So we have an ordinance that talks about when you're a breeder that you have to follow certain procedures, and per our ordinance, and as far as I'm aware, he does not have a valid license to breed. So it is just sad. I mean, there's a lot of animals, and to see them in these conditions and see that someone is allowing them to be hungry and thirsty and just be malnourished like this, it's just sad. It's always sad no matter how many there are, but when there's hundreds and hundreds of them, obviously it's overwhelming.
How many puppies?
I don't know the exact count, 70 I think total.
70 puppies?
Yeah.
And what's going on with the case as far as them moving? Do you know about them moving all the animals out of Pahrump here to Amargosa?
That's relating to that ordinance case relating to how many dogs they can have in Pahrump, and their goal was to move to Amargosa where there is no town ordinance restricting the quantity. But like I pointed out, and I think is the most critical, is regardless of an ordinance for the quantity of dogs, you can't mistreat your animals no matter how many you have. And so although it seems like 300 dogs or 200 dogs is excessive, even if the ordinance allows you to have 200, you still have to take care of the 200 that you have.